Howdy there guys, welcome back to Edgar TV, Pro Tour Time Event 21, not many left to go. We looked yesterday, we looked through the results, we saw that Luke Littler won, and we focused quite a lot on the winner being Luke Littler and the journey of which that may be. But as I said, there's a lot of things up for grabs at the back end of the year, and we're going to take a look at these results today to see what those stories are. Jose de Souza continuing to slip away. He needs to get some victories on the board soon. Vincent van der Voort currently looking like he's going to be losing his tour card. He needs results on the board very soon. Kim Huybrechts also needs results because he is currently outside of those World Championship places. Remember I said that it's sort of all sorts of things up for grabs. Robert Owen's tour card up for grabs at the moment. He needs to get in the World Championships just outside a qualifying place at the moment. Probably would have liked the draw against Torretta, but wasn't able to get it in use there. Tour cards obviously expire at the end of 2 years. You need to be in the top 64. Someone who has been in that top 64 for a long time, Mervyn King, put a good fight up against Gerwyn Price, but could be looking at getting outside of those tour card positions and returning or making a first appearance at Q School. Luke Humphries, a shock defeat here, 6-5 going down to Christian Kist. And not really the performances we've seen from Luke Humphries as of late. You would not expect Christian Kist to be taking him out with an average of 86. Josh Payne, another player whose tour card will be up at the end of the year if he's not able to make the top 64. He starts his day off with a nice 6-1 win then over Ricardo Petrezco. Daryl Pilgrim, someone that I keep speaking about playing well but not getting results, 94 average. He goes down 6-3 to Jelle Klassen. Alan Suter is knocking on the door of the World Grand Prix at the moment. The World Grand Prix is up for grabs. The Players Championship, the Tour Cards, the World Championships. It's business end of the year. He's gone out 6-3. He probably needed a couple of results realistically in order to put himself in a good position for the World Grand Prix. Probably now not going to make it. Nathan Aspinall looking to get back to playing again. Not an ideal draw there for him against Ryan Searle. He goes down 6-2. Adam Warner, another player whose tour card is in jeopardy. Big win for him though. Brendan Dolan, 6-4. Mid-90 average shows that he's going to be competitive and he's going to be in there fighting in regards to trying to keep that PDC tour card. Graham Hall, another player whose tour card looks like it's going to expire in a couple of months' time. He picks up a big win. So the players that are really up against it here, the players that are sort of looking like they're going to lose those cards, really digging deep and putting in a bit of a fight. One of the players we know that is not going to keep his card, Steve Beaton, off to the Seniors Tour. We know that that's what he's going to be doing. He's already made that very, very clear. But just take a look at this one. James Wade, nearly 100 average, 6-3 win. He's in that cut-off point at the moment for the World Grand Prix. And now he's in there with another victory. As is Cameron Menzies. But not quite the level we've seen from Cameron Menzies recently. Every time we've seen Cameron Menzies, he's sort of always been around that 100 average. Maybe didn't have the focus today, just like my camera. Now, before we get into the second round and pick out the big performers, look at this in the first round. Possibly one of the greatest first round matches you're ever going to see. Barneveld averaging 112.71 and losing to a man I've highlighted a bit on this channel, Vessel Nyman. The guy is absolutely flying at the minute. Incredible performance. So you look at the numbers, and when you look at like 12 darts, 11 darts, things like that, you forget like what it takes to hit those sort of numbers. Just look at this. 13 darts. 11 darts, turn 180, 145, 76 out in 2. Hat-trick of 140s, takes out the 81. Just a ridiculous level. Barneveld, 112. Despite the fact with that, not many 180s that you'd think, not a 9-darter in there like you maybe would think as well if someone was to have averaged so high and not got a result. So one really there to keep an eye on, Vessel Nyman. That was the first round. These are your biggest performers in round 2. Now, I have never done one of these reports where I have seen so many people hit that sort of average. Over 100 average. Look at the list. Nyman again over the 100, 102 backing up that performance. And one thing you'll notice is people coming on this list and showing the depth at the moment in the tour, because Mike Dedeker, Clements, Karl Sedlacek, Razma. They weren't on this list yesterday, but they're on it today. And a ridiculous level of amount of hundreds there in round 2. Some real big star performers, but Vessel Nyman again standing out as someone to keep an eye on when we get to the business end of the year. Top 32, round number 3, board finals. A couple of things really standing out here on first inspection. Stephen Bunting, yesterday's finalist, on a run again. He's into the last 16. Mensa Suljovic got a couple of wins, but really did lose his form in this game. But keeping his hopes alive of keeping hold of his tour card, as does Ian White, who is very much around that World Championship conversation. James Wade, I think, pretty much confirms his place now in the World Grand Prix. I don't think there's enough events for him to get knocked out of position. This was a big opportunity for both players here. Benjamin Rose picking up his tour card this year. Adam Warner trying to defend his tour card now as he's getting to the back end of his time. He's got another 8 tournaments now for which to find maybe a World Championship place where he could get some wins, or a deep run somewhere, but he's going to need something soon. Luke Littler continues to be head and shoulders above the pack at the moment, just keeps finding those key moments. Dirk van Dijvenbode got over the shoulder injury as of late. He picks up a good couple of wins there. Again, playing fantastic darts. James Hurrell, someone who really started very, very well live on the Pro Tour. Looked like he was going to be a guarantee for the World Championship. Has slowly just come towards the cut-off point. But a big win here will really help his case. He's got through to the last 32, so another 1,500. That's just going to strengthen his position on that order of merit. And it can be. Sometimes you will... Try and get in focus. Sometimes when you start on... Oh, here we go. Now you can see me better. Some people probably wish it wasn't in focus, especially with that hairdo. But when you get onto the Pro Tour, sometimes people get nervous. Sometimes people really fly. I remember a few years ago, a guy called Scott Baker, the mod, got onto the Pro Tour and he was in semi-finals, quarter-finals early on, but then lost his card straight away. And there's always that danger when someone starts so well that they become sort of expectant of it. And James Hurrell did start really well, and let's say he's just slowly creeped towards that cut-off point. This will really help him. 8 events left. It's just going to give him that little bit of a cushion now in that World Championship spot. Some big runs, some decent runs, some important runs. Thibaut Tricol on his first year as a tour cards holder, showing he belongs. Good run there to the last 16. Ran into one with Bunting. Richie Edhouse started the year so well. Recently lost his form a little bit, getting it back. As is Dave Chisnell. Always seems to be around about that 100 average at the moment. But we're going to pick out the other stories. We're not just going to pick out the winners. We're going to pick out those other stories because we get into that time of year. James Wade goes out but looks good for the Grand Prix. Ian White goes out but moves back into a World Championship qualifying place by £2,000. So he's looking good. Mike Kuyvenhoven, upset victory over Luke Littler, whose levels did drop off there. Got punished by Kuyvenhoven. That's the tour for you. You drop off, someone will jump in. And as it stands, Kuyvenhoven also looking good with these wins to move back into a World Championship qualifying position as well. So it's not just about the story of who wins, it's all the little side stories going on as well. So if the side stories are what we're concentrating on today, the story of the day is Mike Kuyvenhoven. Going into today, his tour card was under threat. He was in a position where he wasn't in the World Championships. He wasn't in the Players Championships. He needed a big run somewhere to put himself in that position. And now he is. Now he's in a position to defend where he would guarantee himself £10,500 for being in those events and the opportunity to add more where those wins weigh so heavy. And he has gone currently, according to the tour card race, back into a tour card position by a couple of places. As we get into the back end of the year, you want to be in there and give yourself that luxury, that little bit of a cushion where a win really does propel you and keep you in that position. And the reason being so is because he reached the semi-final. A really good day for him there. A massive opportunity game in the quarterfinals against Benjamin Rose. The pair of them, massive game for them in regards to how it worked out, because they are the only unseeded players to get through. Now, if you remember yesterday, I said the seeds have started to produce the goods, and they really have here again. 6 seeds in the quarterfinals. Very good return, with a lot of seeds also making the last 16. So seeds getting off the boards again as we get to the business end. You can clearly see that they're taking it a lot more seriously back in the year, putting the extra hours in, getting ready for those big events. He wasn't able to land a blow on Michael van Gerwen, but a semi-final was a massive result for Kai van Hoven for the Tour card, for the Worlds and the Players' Championships. Chizzy continuing to have his upturn in form, always in that sort of high 90s, will take on Van Gerwen in a final, in a all-seeded clash. Two players coming back to form at the right time of year, Chizzy and Van Gerwen, but Van Gerwen really did win this one well in the middle part of the game. And again, good timing in regards to what is coming up. The middle part of the game here, you'll see Michael van Gerwen just running away with it, winning a multiple of legs on the bounce, all under 15 darts, and really just commanding. Took a couple of legs to get over the line, but no issues really there for Van Gerwen. Chizzy did throw 100 average himself, but it felt like he was always a sort of a shot behind MVG in regards to this one. That's the wins. We know there's not going to be much movement in the rankings when we're talking at the very top with Van Gerwen and Chizzy. So let's take a look now at the tour card situation. So the top 64, the players that get to keep their cards. As you can see, that big run for Mike Kai van Hoven puts him into the position. However, if he was to drop out of the Worlds or the Players' Championships, so events in which he's only just in at the moment, he's sort of teetering on the edge. If he was to drop out of those positions, he'd lose 10 grand off of that and come right outside. We've also got dangers like Vessel Nyman, for example. You can see he's in Euro Tours, he's in the Grand Slam, Players' Championship Finals and the Worlds. I think he's going to jump Kai van Hoven unless Kai van Hoven gets big wins. We've got Mensur Suljovic back in position. Same thing again. That money also includes the Slam, the Players and the Worlds. If he is to drop out of position in any of those, he'll come outside that top 64. Players like Jamie Hughes, for example, if he was to make the World Championship, that will give him a good lift in keeping hold of that card, because at the moment, not in. Mervyn King, you'll see, not in and quite a bit off. He's going to need to make those events, so he needs a deep run somewhere at the back end of this year. Players you'll see in different colours, that means they're fine. So Plazier, for example, he is a Challenge Tour top-up. He doesn't have a tour card, but as you can see, a good run, and we know he's capable of it. He could disturb that top 64 position and get a card without having to use the Challenge Tour Order of Merit. Vincent van der Voort, another big name, looking like he's going to lose his card, as is everybody else who you don't see coloured in a bit further down this list. They're going to need to make the Worlds and have a deep run. And don't forget, there is a PDPA qualifier, so these players that are not in these positions will have an opportunity to play off against each other for a chance to take those final spaces at the World Championships. But that World Championships is vital. If you want to keep your card, you've got to be making the Players, you've got to be making the Worlds. They're the two events that give you that big jump in the ranking and get you to keep hold of your card. You've got to make it at least once. If you win a game there, then it sort of helps you out a little bit. But loads of events. I keep saying it, business end of the year. Make sure you're following, make sure you subscribe, because it's going to get tricky, and I'm going to talk you through everything you need to know. Cards, Grand Prix, Grand Slam, World Championships, Players' Championship Finals, Q School. It's all going to be covered right here. I'll let you know the system. Catch you soon with some more Edgar TV. This camera's really annoying. Why does it keep auto-focusing? Catch you soon.